Hey, what's going on, guys? Donna coming to you from Asawa, Japan, Pinku style podcast. I was to start a new podcast channel based around music only. Too much work, and I got a lot of time running an automotive shop here in Japan. So what I'm going to do from this point forward, I'm going to take all my music podcasts and I'm going to put them all onto the music channel. Numbers not going to match because it's not going to be in order. I do got a lot of music head friends, but I haven't talked to a lot of them, so I got to get those guys scheduled, get them on the podcast. If you guys out there who are watching, in the music, of course, you can hold a conversation. You got an interesting story to tell, just hit me up at podcast@penguinstar.com and we can chop it up and everything. So I'm down to talk to anybody. I ain't got to have Kanye, all the top gurus or whatever on the channel. That's not my aim. I'm just about spreading the community, spreading the knowledge, and just having a good time. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share to grow this portion of my channel. And also, if you're not subscribed, go over to PinkuStar.tv and check that out. Peace.
Gotta get it right before we leave. The angle and the lighting is vital to what they see, and that's on me. On me, nigga.
Hey guys, this is gonna be Dominique coming to you from Asawa, Japan. Got my guy back in here, Dominique, DJ Flash. And we're gonna talk about like for guys who new to the channel and everything, cool, thanks, subscribing, all that stuff like that. I was just talking to Dominique offline, man. Dominique, right? Dominique or Dominic?
Dominique, yeah.
Dominique, I got a brother named Dominique, man. So he get mad when people call him Dominique.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. And so anyway, man, I was telling you offline, man. It was like the last time we talked was like May. Wrote it down. It was May 17th, 2020. And today is May like 13th, 15th. So it was 4 days separated from our first time talking, and it wasn't like we planned it. It just kind of happened, man. So it was like, the thing is, I definitely get you on, more than a year in between, man. I know life happens and everything's happening there. Just for the guys out there, we're not going to go back over the old stuff, but if you want to see the other one, it's episode number 56. And go back, and I'll put a link there and go back and check it out. So if you want to catch that before you get on this one and everything. So anyway, man, before we get into it, man, just plug in the events you got coming up, your social media, any projects you got dropping, because I know I've seen one that just dropped recently.
Yeah.
And just tell us about all that stuff, man. What's been up, man?
So I'm Flash Horton, DJ and producer from Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. So I've been doing a lot, man. My Instagram, of course, is Flash Horton. My Twitter, because somebody else has my Twitter name for whatever reason, with like 6 followers, no posts.
Yeah.
I had to use the Flash Horton, so there's that, and then of course everything else is just Flash Horton. So as far as projects, man, actually May of last year was when I really started turning up the heat with more releases on a regular basis. I started putting out more original tracks. I think Galactica, Head Buster, Arcade, a lot of those were pretty much all of those, and I'm missing one. Look Who's Back, So I got to drop a lot of different genres that people weren't ready or really used to hearing me do. So I did some hard trap, I did some hybrid trap, some future house and deep house stuff, which is normal for me. And from there, I went and did a few remixes and released those as well. So I got a remix with Lit Lord's Hardest, one of their bigger songs. That one went over really well. That one's on SoundCloud. Pretty much I'll post all my remixes to SoundCloud.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I've been streaming in the garage here, man. So I keep up to speed. Like we won't talk a lot, man, but I definitely be like I stream either I don't listen to my stuff too much no more because it's kind of like like narcissism and shit. But I'll be listening to your joint, so I have it on the SoundCloud there and everything. So I check it out there and stuff like that, man. So one thing before you go like too long, because this is like the hot one. You posted a track about it was about I think about 2 weeks ago I seen it. And I think it was with 2 Chainz or Wiz. I can't remember.
Oh yeah. So that was my cousin. In Atlanta, he's a rapper, Miroj, Miroj.
Okay.
I've been producing for him a lot over the last year and a half, and the song called 2 Chainz is his song that I produced, and it's one of those songs where he just real quickly, he's one of those rappers. Every rapper has the one feature that they want from an artist that they admire tremendously and they craft themselves after. For my cousin, it just happened to be 2 Chainz. So that's the feature that he wants, and I figured, hey, why not put a track together or something that 2 Chainz would probably get on?
Oh, gotcha.
So I did it like that, and he named it called 2 Chainz because of the line in the song.
Oh, okay. All right, so I wanted to, cause I was like, shit, man. I mean, I want to put. I mean, I know your music is that level and everything, man. So I thought, because I seen it like about 2 a.m. So I was like, oh shit, and I looked at my phone. I was like, damn, son, he moving up, man. But hey, man, that's dope. That's dope. But I mean,
that's
the track
just to get attention, yeah.
So you did that track?
Yeah, I produced that track, yeah.
All right, cool. I'm a lace it in there and everything. And actually, is that one like, is that copyrighted and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, it's all good. You can still play it though. Yeah, it should be fine.
I'll get it. I'm actually, so we talking about it now, but I'll throw it into the beginning of the it'll be the intro and an outro and everything. So I always put, unless it's a music dude like yourself or another buddy, I always put my music up in the intro and outro. That's how I get it out there and I mix up the tracks. Cause I got over 230 some tracks, man, that like people like, man, when you make that? And I'm like, dude, 8 years ago, like 9 years ago, because nobody, I mean, it's like 200 people that hear it.
Yeah.
So like, and speaking on that, man, like, what do you like your catalog, man? So like, when people hear your stuff, are they shocked that you made that track 5 years ago?
Yeah. There's a lot of that. A lot of those, because a lot of what I put out last year were tracks I've been sitting on for a year and a half, 2 years. You know, some that started 3 years ago when and you got to finish those, man. Don't get me wrong, I got a ton of them that's sitting. I got
inside of here, man. I got a bunch of beats, man. Well, not inside the MPC, but on a card. Yeah. Got a bunch of beats in here, man. On this 2 gig card that I'm like, I just kind of like, I started and I don't, it's just one of those things, man. And like, it's one of those things where only guys who make music know what it's about. And it's not that we're abandoning our stuff. It's just you're not feeling it at that moment. And I'm pretty sure you experience the same thing. You could talk on it when you like kind of go away from it. You come back, you hear different shit. Your ears get tired. People don't. Absolutely. They think that. Yeah, man. So speak on that, man. How's it like keeping your motivation and everything, and like what keeps you like motivated and stuff, man?
Well, to be honest, I'm a weirdo when it comes to music. So, and especially on the producing game, because I like to produce every style of music that I like. Gotcha. So, and I like a lot of stuff. So it spreads me thin, which it would probably seem so, but whenever I get tired of doing one, or I finish a track in one genre, I always like multiple. I work in multiple genres, so I can be doing a hip hop track for my cousin, and a Jersey club track, and then a deep house track, melodic techno, and then something else just to break up the monotony, because there's techniques that you can use all the way across all of those genres, but there's certain ones that you need more in other ones, and there's certain things that you can and can't do. You learn your boundaries and you learn where to break them, and it work, So that's really what I go through. I would play video games. I still have yet to get another game system, but movies and cartoons and TV, and that's where I get and Instagram, just watching stuff that's funny. I get my inspiration from everywhere. It seems like it never really stops.
Yeah, yes, and like you nailed it, man, on the motivation part, because like I'm a sample based, and I don't say like you're a producer. I'm a beat maker, and people they confuse the two and everything. And people like, guys run around, I'm a producer, I do this. I'm like, well, whoever you produce, because you know what a producer does. Yeah. And a lot of people get it mixed up. It's not, and some people get offended, like, no, I'm a producer. I'm like, a producer is Teddy Riley. A producer is P. Diddy. They produce people careers, and like it's not only making the beat, it's, hey man, I want you to say it like this, or do this, and all the stuff that goes into being a producer. So if you're just a beat maker, myself, I just make beats. I have really no aim for who's going to use it, because most guys don't use it, or the guys that will waste your time. Yeah, hey man, give me the tracks, and they never use it.
Yeah,
or
I don't
they
play
use
that.
the track. They use the track and it's garbage. I'm like, dude, come on, man, you just ruined my beat. And so I'm a beat maker. That's what I did. Kind of Jay Dilla was one of those guys that kind of, he was a producer, but Jay Dilla he would call himself, I'm a beat maker, because he would just make beats. but he's done Erykah Badu and all types of guys like that. So guys who don't know out there, Jay Dilla, rest in peace. Just go look it up on YouTube. He's responsible for a lot of the tracks you got right there. Then of course, most guys know they're looking at right here with MPC. Then of course, like the one of the guys who was like, later in the game, who made the MPC infamous, of course, was Kanye. But, guys like, even Manny Fresh, like, of course, Guru, like all those guys, man, Pete Rock, all those guys been on the MPC, the SP12 and all those guys for years, man. So one thing is the gear, and definitely want to talk to you about the gear and see if you got any new gear since the last time we talked. And the, have you got any new gear?
I got a Tascam sample recorder, and mainly not any new gear. I think all I did get a lot of VSTs that
Gotcha.
that I utilize on a regular basis now. So I'm enjoying those for the time being until I can. I'm not even really 100% sure what my next piece of hardware is going to be.
Yeah.
I just bought another DJ controller finally. Mine was down last year, pretty much right before I went to a DJ competition here in Raleigh, and I limped through it, and I got second place, but it died a horrible death after that. So that was my Numark Mixtrack Pro 3, and that's I cannot say enough good things about that controller because it took a lot of drops, a lot of Hennessy, a lot of tequila, a lot of things that probably should have never went in it, and it trucked through. So hats off to Numark, but I'm a Pioneer guy now. I just got my RX2 and I got it for a deal at that. So I'm loving it. I'm glad to finally be on to what I feel like is another step towards my career as a DJ.
Rush. So like on the DJ, like so break that down, like because I'm actually intrigued. I'm pretty sure guys are listening and watching are intrigued too. So for a DJ competition, like what does it all entail? How does it set up? How does it start? How do you even get to it? And like what's the criteria to actually become to win a competition?
Okay. So for starters, I want to be 100% clear about this, 110% clear about this. This was not a scratch competition. I am not a turntablist. That's something I aspire to acquire as far as some of the skill sets from that later. I have some of them, but I don't have as many as I would like, so I don't do that. But this was more of a how good of a DJ are you type situation as far as song selection, your mixing, your transitions, your levels, what type of music are you playing? Do you know how to switch it up? That type of thing. Can you stay in one genre? Does the music that you play do anything for the crowd? So I think that was what it was overall, like danceability, because it's the place that it was held at. It's a bar, but it's also a club. So they need a DJ for downstairs and upstairs. So it's one of those situations where you're playing for a slot. You're basically playing for a job. So,
and they have like with those competitions or stuff like that, man. Do they have like they give you a list of like the no plays or stuff like that?
No, that's one of the things I loved about this competition. There was no rules as far as what you could or couldn't play, because I think it was more so because of the crowd that comes there is so diverse. You could kind of get away with a lot of stuff. You had to really be out of spectrum to play something that people would be everyone on the dance floor would absolutely stop. So like I got away with a lot.
Some Kirk Franklin or something like that.
It's like maybe yeah. I mean, it really just depends on if it's a remix. If it's a remix,
because
it better be dope though.
Yeah, because most people know they look. Because the thing about it now, man, it's like it's weird where, like it took my guy Wiz. I had my guy DJ Wiz on, which I want to get him back on here, and like Wiz was responsible for like kind of introducing me to the trap, because it was one of those things. Of course, I'm 38. I'm hardcore East Coast guy, boom bap type stuff like that, which is pretty much the type of music I make. And I kind of like the sample flow. So kind of going back to what you said earlier, a lot of guys they get stuck in that one sound. So I kind of let the sample. What I do is I sample like I was listening to like what's that the like some old school anime joint, and like I pretty much pull up the OST. So like I let the sample take it, and I listen to a lot of electronica, Paul Oakenfold, different things like that, right? So all different things. So the genre of music kind of sets the sample tone and the pace. Versus like one thing I don't sample, and I've done it once to just get it out of my system. I don't do like Motown. I don't do, you know what I mean?
I'm scared to death to touch any of that.
Kanye does it to death. It's already been the reason why is because it's already been done to death and it's been done well.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Get them all.
Pretty much, Ninth Wonder, all those guys, they killed all at once. So even if you think you're on some new shit, they don't hit it like at track number 14 in this mixtape. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't do it. So when I sample anime OST that that nobody's ever heard other than other anime geeks, they're like, oh shit, that's fucking that's this, and you're like, yeah. But the regular dudes listening don't know that, man. So it's like it's just that's my thing on it for making beats and everything.
Beat. So before we leave that anime topic,
yeah. I
had when I first started really producing, I still had my homie Blue that hold my hand through FL Studio for a little while. I had started watching Attack on Titan. And I loved like the very first season, and I loved that intro song, and I was like, yo, I could turn that into a banger. But my skills at the time were not anywhere near high enough to pull that off.
Yeah.
But now that you said that, it reminded me.
You gotta go back. You gotta go back.
I gotta go back. Dude,
that's another thing too, man. Because I mean, it seemed like you stay in motion with it, like you just move on. For me, I got on that card I just pulled out. That's like 1 of like 6, and I just got like so much stuff. And it's been 6-7 years, and I still haven't heard anybody put it up because again, everybody's targeting the same source. And I mean, I don't that's one. It's like I would never ask, other than something that's really stands out. I just never ask another guy, hey man, where'd you get that from? Because it's like, hey man, I found it. It's kind of like a code, unspoken code between NPC guys. Unless it's a battle where like everybody's gonna get that one sample, and you got a week to come up with something. Which I've done a few of those, and they're like, hit or miss. And it's like you just never really, because it's like, nah, dude, I found that shit, and it's like. You can just find it. I mean, nobody. Well, nobody really, because if you play it long enough, you can just pretty much put it in the what's that one app that recognizes the sound? Yeah. So like that shit's over now. So you can pretty much put your phone up to the damn speaker, and it'll tell you what it is. And I got it on my phone, so when I'm in the restaurants, I'll put it up like, oh, okay, that's that, because I'll be hearing some shit in the background, and that's the one thing about being a sample based.
I'll pause the TV and rewind it.
Bro, anything that I hear, and that's why OST anime is ridiculous, because like, bro, it's overwhelming. Like, oh, I can sample this, I can sample that. I'm like, this one song, one opening track on one anime I just watched the other day, man. Like, it's like 8 or 9 different beats I can get out of there, man. At the one track, and 4-minute track, and that's an understatement probably, man. So how's it for you, man? Being like, I mean, so like your style, you're more. So are you more like, what is it, from scratch style, or like you're doing these mixed samples and things like that?
I do quite a bit of both. It really just depends on what I'm doing, because like I have a very limited amount of time to work on music, unfortunately. So I have to be as efficient as possible. So a lot of times it is samples, and what I'll do is, like, for example, like a lot of my melodic techno stuff is from scratch. A lot of it isn't at the same time. And then I use a mixture of both, because I can come up with an idea on my own, but there's no timetable on how long that's going to take. I never know how long it's going to, or how fast I'm going to even be able to get the idea out anymore. So I move as quickly as I can, and I feel like a lot of times I do forget a lot of the tracks that I've made, especially my hip hop tracks. I forget those a lot of times. So a lot of times I have to go back in my computer and just remind myself that, hey, these exist, and you might need to, see what you can do with them, or if you need to update anything. There's a lot of that. So for me, it's really a mixture of both. If I can use all samples and get it done and be happy with it, then cool. But I've done tracks where it's all samples, and then I get to the end and I'm still not happy with it, and I go in and add something, take something out, and or recreate something in a whole nother sound or another instrument or something like that. I constantly have to do little stuff like that just to tailor make it to where it fits right for me and I can be okay with it.
Gotcha. And for the guys out there who like listen to it, is new to music and want to get into it, man, what's some of the VSTs you would recommend? Just because like this one, that's a whole different battle right there with people like, well, I don't sample. But then like the thing about it, a VST is a sample of an instrument, and like I'm pretty sure you heard the argument. People like be like, and a few other producers like brought it up like, dude, don't be stupid about it. Like dudes like, oh, all the stuff in your rolling or all the stuff in your motif is a sample sound of a real instrument or whatever. It's like, yeah, it is. So like technically, it's all, if you want to say it, unless it's like it's a straight piano or something like that. But that whole as you can see, man, it doesn't make sense when you even talk about it. So that's a whole. That's a whole different rabbit hole, and I don't even want to go down there. But as far as the VSTs, man, I will say the first time I loaded up a VST into which I downloaded, I didn't pay for it. It was in Iraq, but the first time I loaded up this VST to free FL, it was like an instant game changer. I'm like, and that was
it Girls Beat?
No, it was I forgot what it was, but no, actually, I didn't download it. I got it from my guy who in Chicago, my dude Josh, and it was like when you open up, it had an all red background and stuff like that. I don't know what it was, but you open it up, and then it was just mind blowing because the stock FL stuff is stock, and then I opened up the MPD, and that was the precursor to the MPC.
Yeah,
because what is it called? FPC.
Yeah, FPC.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. So I opened up FPC, then I had my keyboard triggering the pads, and then I was like, man, fuck this, man. I always wanted an MPC, and I had the money, so I bought this one right here. This one right here I had since 2007, 2008. And I got it in Iraq, man. So it's been in Iraq twice. And it's still, I just did a sensor upgrade and stuff like that, and but other than that, the shit's like broken right now. But yeah, man, it's like I got that, and that was a game changer. And like it just instantly, my sound overnight from Josh coming in at VST to getting to the MPC. Because before, man, honestly, man, my shit was whack. It was like hella whack. And so it was just the mindset and then getting the gear. And then for me, I was a trumpet player. So just getting the MPC and physically touching it, it just brought like my creativity to life, man.
For sure. Yeah, like really the main ones I use, because I do majority of my music is dance music, or under the huge umbrella that is dance music. It's a lot of Serum, a lot of Silent, Babylon from time to time, for certain things. More like Babylon for like the hardstyle stuff and like hardstyle type leads. And still I use Serum and Silent for both of those as well. But Inspire is one of the newer ones that people are really liking. I'm loving the sounds that are coming from Spire, to be honest, because I hear a lot of Spire leads and pads and plucks and a lot of future house tracks and like I don't know, you can't even name anybody right this second, but there's a lot of like I know I've used Aspire one. I think I used Aspire lead in Arcade. Or no, that was Serum. But those are the main go-to. Silent, well, in Massive, a lot of people, I don't know anybody except for like a couple of people that are still using Massive that I know for sure are still using it. But that was one that I wanted to get a hold of. I'm still trying to get a hold of Contact. Like that would be, if I can get that Contact instrument library or that cinematic library, that would change the game. but right now, Flex, I'm using Flex. That's probably one of the best factory VSTs that comes on FL Studio. Like it'll give you a lot of what you can't really get out of the bass plugins that are on there. And basically, a lot of those sounds you would have to you have to pay a pretty good penny, and they give away like over every now and then they give you a free pack of pianos or some strings, and it's always good quality stuff, so you kind of can't beat it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I use for the most part. Octave, and that's the only other one that I use. Oh wait, and then Cymatics has two of them. I use both of those. Well, they have three now, but the ones I used was the 808, the 808 VST. I can't even remember the name of it, but I just mixed a beat down for my cousin that uses that. I was using that VST, so but they have two good ones, the one for 808s and the other ones for their for your drums and for 808s. So it's pretty good, and you're also your synth wave bass lines and things like that, just to help bring them out more.
Yeah, man. It seems like I got a phone right there. It seemed like the VST kind of like is taking over as far as like, you know, back in the because like what year, my bad, because I totally forgot, like when was the first year you started like making anything, the first time you made anything?
To really like to say I really put forth real effort,
yeah,
I won't count high school or college. No.
What was the first time you opened up and tried to sequence something, man?
Oh wow! Oh
yeah.
I was 15.
Yeah. What year was
that? Was 2004.
Okay, 2004. So so actually
that's like FL Studio 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, I mean honestly, man, that's not too about the same time, man. Because 2004 for you, it was I know because it was like 2000. It was 2000 because I met Jarvis, and then Jarvis introduced me to this guy named Eric, and Eric gave me he had it on CD. It was FL1, the first FL. So it was like 2000, yeah. So he gave me the CD, and I always wanted to make Wu-Tang, all this stuff, man. But I never knew it was possible for a regular. I thought beat making was something that was done in a science lab. I didn't know, and that was because everybody gives Fruity Loops shit, man. But Fruity Loops is one of the first, you know, DAWs to come out. I mean, and then it morphed. The FL Studio Pro Tools is what it is, Reasons is what it is, Ableton is what it does, but FL Studio is pretty powerful now, man. So respect to that. I still use FL to track into and do little tweaks, but so that time frame you got that. But what I was saying was like I said, the VST kind of is now the new gear slut, because back in the day, guys would buy this, buy that, buy this, and you see guys that I'm on a few pages, and I'm not knocking anybody's setup, but when I'm like, bro, you got way too much going on. Then I hear their tracks, I'm like, you got all that shit, and your tracks sound like
they don't know how to use it. They don't know how to use it. People aren't taking the time.
Yeah. So and I see it because I'm like, and then like I'm a you know, my even right now my shit's kind of, for me, to my specs, I'm looking at the wires right now, they're all like individually ran. Nothing's over anything, and nothing's like, you know, intertwined. So I can take everything apart right now. But like I see that they got the fucking patch cables here. The patch cables running across the damn machine because it's too short to reach to the damn thing. And I'm like, bro, like, dude, man, you got all that shit going on. And then like, I mean, if you got all that shit in the background, your beats need to be fire, man. You know what I mean? Like, pretty much. Yeah, that's how I feel about it, because it just doesn't make sense for you to have all of this equipment and not know what to do with it. Like I used to hate seeing DJs, like my little $300 controller. I used to hate seeing DJs with $1,200 and $1,400 DJ controllers but can't mix. Like that would be and walking up with a MacBook Pro. You got the flight case. You spent all this money and don't know how to use what you're. Just move. Hey man, that's like it's in all facets of life, man. Cars, sports, bikes, everything, man. It's always the dudes who got a little bit more cash
and don't know what they're doing.
and it's like, man, it's like you need all that. It's like, and I mean, that's why I just put up. I'm selling like I got two 2000 XL MPCs. I got a 2000 Classic. I use them, but like I don't. My go to, even with the MPC one I don't utilize it. I got the MPC 1000 just does everything I needed to do. Mm-hmm. MPC one is cool to play with because it's new age. You got the Wi-Fi and all that stuff, but it's like they added a lot of stuff and bells and whistles for new guys who want to get into it. But the MPC 1000 is plenty powerful. It's smaller and everything. You can take it around. It's a little bit more mobile, man. So I just upgraded the pads to fat pads, and I was good to go. But so I always, no matter what I get, I always revert back to the MPC 1000. So it's like, man, I got all these fucking MPCs. I'm not a collector, so let me sell this shit, get some money, and buy some car parts, and I'm still good. I don't need. So some guys, I just think they get into that zone where they just think it's cool to have all these things and all this. Like, you got all this stuff and like whatever. So I can see you guys on NPC, right? NPC 1000, and they got this effect thing. I'm like, bro, you know, the NPC got it inside, right? Inside the NPC 1000 already, you can change the effects. You can add one little effect box and plug it into your inline, and you're good. And that all the shit you got, you can put in the trash or just take it out of the scene. So that's what it is in that, man. So in your regards, man, because like I said, you're heavy on the VSTs, and there's nothing wrong with it, man. But like, do you kind of see that the same thing with guys just buying every VST that comes out, and then they still?
Yeah, I still see it. Yeah, because
it's just digital.
I see other producers with studios just like what you were talking about, like but like organized, like super nice studios. They got a million different synthesizers on the wall. They got lead guitars, bass guitars, whole drum set. Like Younger, he's one of my favorite producers out right now as well, and I believe he's from the UK. But he does videos on IG where he literally does a mashup or a bootleg or a remix, basically, of whoever song he feels like at the moment on the fly on video in his studio. No time lapse, no nothing. He performs it off live and loops everything up. Like, that's the studio I would dream of having. But I understand that kind of studio ain't everybody's dream studio, and not everybody needs that type of studio. I would enjoy something like that because I play instruments, and I could float from one instrument to the next, cue up the loop, and keep it moving. Whereas, you know, somebody else could have a room full of all of that same studio. They wouldn't be able to get out of using that same 808 pattern, that same kick pattern, that same VST, that same Nexus preset from the early 2000s, or that same Serum preset that's factory that everybody uses for their house track. Like, come on. If you're going to have all of that, at least utilize it for those of us who don't have it that could.
I just think a lot of guys, when they get like that, because I honestly, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm perfect, because it took me, what you're explaining right there is one of the things I did. I would do like kind of the same repetitive, like when I was in FL, and that's why FL, and I think for me, and it's nothing against the guys there who do the mouse, they have the clicker, which a lot of the old school producers, actual real producers, get on some of the young guys for just being mouse clicking, mouse dragging, because it's always going to be that, man. So when those guys came up in the 80s, late 70s and 80s, then the people who before that was saying, well, this electronic music is shit and whatever. So that's going to be one thing that's going to always go down. And it's kind of one of those things where, like, I remember growing up, I'm pretty sure the same way, you would go to a cookouts and everything, and you notice your people playing the same music from like the 60s, you know what I'm saying, in the 70s. And it's because that's what they grew up on. That's what life was easier and more enjoyable and not in the grind. And it's the same thing for us. Like when I'm on a road to Tokyo, man, I'm rocking Mobb Deep, Nas, like all the stuff that and Outkast and all the stuff that I was walking to school on. And it's like now I'm driving this car, 500 horsepower car down to Tokyo, listening to the shit I was listening to, struggling in Baltimore and shit. So that's the music that, and it's going to be the same thing for the new cats for the trap and everything. They're going to feel that. And then the guys that's in the 2000s going to be listening to Chingy and shit and Lil Flip. And that's just what and Young Jock and Jeezy. That's what they grew up on. So it was, in short, that was a soundtrack to their youth and everything. So, you know what I'm saying? That's what it was. So I understand that. So if guys who don't know that, that's what it is. It's not that, they listening to this stuff, Motown, and this is just they grew up on Motown, so that's what they listen to.
Absolutely. And like I like to sample stuff from the 2000s, like the middle school and up time, sometimes stuff from when I was in elementary school that was out that I probably had no business listening to, but we're not going to talk about that. So, I mean, like I like Headbuster. That was a little scrappy, and I remember that time. That was a wild time to live in the South when the crunk era was there. Like it was even in middle school and high school, that crunk era was something else. And in the energy that it had, I was like, yo, this is perfect to mix with hard trap. These two genres belong together. So why not do it? So I figured I did Headbuster and did great. I mean,
my bad. This one, like my wife is like, my wife just gave birth to twins not too long ago, man. So she's bugging. So that's the reason. That's the only person that in the world that would interrupt my podcast, man. So yeah, she's all good, man.
I know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's man. It's like I think a lot of people just don't allow it. They just don't. Again, even with I know this thing MPC, like, which I got on screen right here, Inside Out. For the most part, but there's still some little nooks and crannies that, like, if I really look deep, there's little things you can do. Like, people don't know when you're using it, you can actually like there's a what is it, sequencer inside of it. Even though this is like it sequences, but there's a sequencer that shows like your hits, so you can actually live time go back in there and like hold erase, and you can erase the sequence while you're doing it. And that's like one thing that a lot of people don't notice even inside this thing, man. Effects, the actual, you could do a lot of things like, add a high effects, low effects, different things inside it. And so dudes will go out and buy this little effects box, right, and plug it into here. I'm like, bro, it already does it inside the MPC. So you just added something to something that already had it. And it's that right there. When I see that, it's like I don't put dislike on people's stuff or say something crazy. I just see it, I move on. I'm like, all right, they'll learn. But I'm like, bro, you got all these fucking boxes and shit, and the box that you got does everything inside already, standalone. You don't need anything, man. So that right there just shows your stuff, and I'm pretty sure you see it. And I know, I mean, we talked a little bit, man. I know you ain't that type of dude to be throwing shade on people like that, but you'll probably see a guy and it's probably like your eyes are just raised, like, okay, cool, man.
Yeah.
Do you, man?
That's what I'd be like, yo, you spent a lot of money. No, because I mean, like, I use the Novation Launchpad Pro 3, the MK Pro 3. And I'm using it in the FL Studio predominantly because I just haven't decided to fork over that 450 to get Ableton Live. So, or what is it? I think the new one is like 600 or whatever. But yeah, I'm not forking over that bridge just yet. I'm not quite there, but I plan on actually utilizing both of them pretty equally in the future. Yeah. Like I like to create my sample. Like I feel it coming eventually, so I'm gonna go ahead and start working on it ASAP. I'm gonna start putting out sample packs. So
I'll be buying some, man. Let me know when they come out because I'll be buying it to support my guy, and also I'll be using them, man. That's just how I work, man.
I appreciate it.
I support my people, man. But man, with because it's one of those things, man. Because I got, of course, the garage right behind me with the cars. You know what I do for the guys who are listening and everything. Because this is gonna be, and also I'm gonna upload this to my music channel because I revived that. So I'm gonna take all my podcasts that are music related and then move those over. So this will actually be a double post. So I revamped my music channel, and it's like, it is what it is and that stuff. But man, it's so much. It's just, man, but I'm getting overwhelmed just thinking about it. And I got the car stuff going on, and I want to do for all my favorite animes, OSTs, like just pretty much make a non-profit mixtape. Whoever can download it, whatever you want, because I'm not into my hustle is not selling music. And that's you know how that thing works, and that's a whole different. That's something you can't. You seem like you got some stuff to talk about there. You can't be halfway on and off. I had a situation with J. Cole and his team where I made a track about 4 or 5 years before his album dropped. Somebody hit me up like, "Hey man, you sampled J. Cole or you sold a beat to J. Cole?" I was like, "Nah." The dude sends me the track. It's my exact track with some little changes, man. Better mastering, but it was my track, and I think I told you about this, man.
Yeah.
You don't find that the track that I sampled, it was like electronica joint. You know, electronica dudes have like 30 albums.
Oh yeah,
and nobody knows about one of them, right? So that was this group was one of those groups had about 15, 20 albums, and this track was like number 35. There's no fucking way, dude. No way that they just stumbled upon that. So we was talking about SoundCloud. SoundCloud is great and SoundCloud is bad because people get creative block, and what they do is they got the lawyers, they got the money, and they come to SoundCloud and steal from us. Mm-hmm. This is not a I'm not trying to throw shade on J. Cole. I respect J. Cole. He's one of the dopest new age cats, but they definitely stole my shit. There's no way around it, man.
And honestly, I bet he probably didn't even he had no idea.
Nah,
and
right.
the problem is those guys that do that, they just in the crew.
Right, exactly. And they just want to, oh man, this shit's, you know, and that's what I mean. That's why I put a post up about it. J. Cole don't know me from anybody, you know, everything. So I know for sure J. Cole didn't go on SoundCloud. It's like they got, you know how to rap. They got all these dudes around them, all these guys that want to be the next Kanye. Yep. And they're just like trying to make the hottest shit. And apparently somebody heard my shit. They liked it, and they just repurposed it. But it was the tempo, everything was the same, man. So I was like, oh wow, damn, man. So I actually went to the group on Facebook. Crazy how shit works for the guys when you heard the story. And I hit them up by Messenger, and I was like, hey man, just curious, man. Like, you know, I sampled your stuff a little while ago, and I was like, are you familiar with this song? And I just want to see how it worked. I wasn't trying to throw shade on him as well because I'm pretty sure they cleared it. He's like, yeah, you know, he told me his whole full name. He's like, yeah, they had legal rights to sample it. And he was like, and his part of the thing was like, man, I'm sorry, but like hip hop is brutal, man. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, so man, so have you experienced anything like that as far as clearing and having anything happen like that, man?
Okay, yeah. Once,
if you could talk about it,
I could talk about it. Yeah, but this dude was basically like he tried to say that we use the same chord progression, or no, he basically said I stole this song, and I'm like, okay, well, matter of fact, he hit me up on SoundCloud and was like, yeah, man, I think you stole my song. I'm not mad or anything. I just want you to take it down. I was like, send me your song and let's see. Because
is this an industry cat or just another SoundCloud?
I think he had way more followers than me. I'll say that.
Right.
So
yeah,
I was like, okay, send me your track and we'll check it out. Then I sent it from there. I listened to it. I'm like, yo, these sound absolutely nothing alike.
Right.
The only thing that we had in common was we both bought the same acapella pack. That's it.
Right there.
And
dude.
I told him, I was like, yo, it's 100% royalty free and commercial royalty free, which means I can put the song out, name it, title it the same thing that you title it with the same vocals. We can have different music and they both can be out at the same time. That's how that works. And he got all mad or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm not taking it down. So you can get over that. Like, there's nothing, that's the only thing that.
So like, what are you, like, you're going to take somebody to court over like that's like buying a VST pack.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like pretty much what happened. You buying and that's why sample packs are cool, but then they're only cool if you get them right away. Because once it gets out to everybody. Yeah, you gotta be on it, man. So that's why, like, I mean, shit. I got Knife Wonder, I got Alchemist, but I just use it for the drum. So like, because I mean, you listen to Alchemist, you listen to Knife Wonder, and different guys and the reason why they got a sample pack, you know what I mean? Because they use Pete Rock, because they use that's the sounds they like to use, and that's why the sample pack works. So people don't even get what they're buying. They're buying that producer's favorite hi-hat, that producer's favorite kick, that produces favorite snare, and then you know what I mean, you got to mix them up. So I'll take a Pete Rock kick, I'll take a Knife Wonder hi-hat. So you don't use that's the guys there who don't know, it's better not to use everything from the same pack because it sounds like just like goddamn Jay Dilla. Use Jay Dilla's, you know, or Kanye uses a lot of the fucking bongos and his shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So like that high pitched bongo. He just sped it up a little bit, but it ain't nothing special about it. But that's a signature Kanye thing. So that's the thing that I try to do, but I'm like, I realize that's not my grind. And like, you have the signature Swiss Beats. You could be fucking on the flu, nearly dying, and you hear Swiss beat, and you know that's Swiss Beats. You know it, and you just know different producers have that signature sound. So there's only a couple Dre's, there's only a few Timberlands, Jermaine Dupri, even Pete. Puff is a little bit different because he had a bunch of dudes making beats for him. That's
he was more of an executive.
Yeah, he had the factory, man. That when I seen that, how he had those dudes in the goddamn room. The sweatshop, dude. And they like a sweatshop making beats and shit. And then they had the battle, but you're pretty sure you know that story. And then they made the beats dope. And I didn't realize that was 5 or 6 different producers making all those beats, man. And that's why Mace had it. They were coming out back to back to back with tracks, almost like not No Limit style, but
they had the whole plant running. They was good.
Yeah, man. So like that it's a lot of history there, guys. We here to talk to Flash, man. So you can look on YouTube for that stuff, but it's intriguing, man, and on that stuff, man. So, but yeah, man, that's dope. That's kind of lame, man. I do come. He said he opens up when anytime somebody says I'm not mad because I've done that shit. That means you're mad.
Yeah, because I already knew what his temperature was. I was like, all right, here we go.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I was calm. I tried to hit up. I actually messaged. I never got a response back with J. Cole's team at nothing. And I hit up. So I was like, fuck. I hit up the art because I want to see how this shit works because I first time doing it, and I spent 2 days looking up clearings. I'm like, bro, this shit ain't. This is for lawyers and people who got a lot of money. And I was reading all this shit, and I was reading this. And he was like, but you gotta do this, but this links into that. And I'm like, dude, like, and it's like I kept going on rabbit holes, and I'm like, dude, this shit ain't. You know what I mean? I do this for fun. I was more mad that I'm like, bro, that was a chance you could work with a source, or you could just steal it. Yeah. So they chose to steal. Not sorry about that. They didn't steal anything from me. It wasn't my shit to steal. But the concept and idea was mine. You know what I'm saying? That was I found the sample, never heard it before, and everything, man. So I got it on that, man. So
yeah, I typically only stuff I post on SoundCloud now is tracks that are already officially out on streaming services and remixes because I can't post them on streaming services. So yeah, if you want to steal it, whatever. Because I mean, I gotta give it away for free anyway, so whatever there. But other than that, ain't nothing out. Like if it's up there, it's on a private SoundCloud, and only certain people get links from me because I know how that game go. Because all those links are shareable.
Yep. So it's shared. It's private. Like it's sitting right on the thing. Like anybody who has this link, you know what I mean. That's another thing too, man. It's like back in the day. And I noticed that stopped, man, because I used to do it too, and I was like, man, dude, I mean, I'm good at it, but my shit ain't that far with somebody. So like we kind of put the not the watermarks, but the sound bites on it, to open it up, DJ, blah blah blah, whatever. People don't do that shit no more because it's like, dude, it kind of. I noticed it stopped a little bit, and also everybody's using, like you said, everybody's using the same goddamn VST pack, so you already know what it comes from. So now, like that takes the thing out. The sample game was a little bit different because. Until Shazam and shit like that came out, because then people don't realize before Shazam came out, that's the way YouTube and everything will figure out your shit. So you have to speed up the tempo, lower it down. They can pretty much. I mean, you have some obscure shit. I mean, like a little bite, and your whole video is like non-monetized because you know what I mean. You put stuff on there, so it's crazy how that works, man. But and then also if somebody want to really get your shit, man, I mean. Honestly, I got enough gear here, which is not much you need, that anything that makes sound on my computer, I can record it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the same time, you know, people who are doing that are not really real about their craft anyway, because it was a real artist. They want a real track, you know what I mean, stems and everything broken down. And, and people who know what we're talking about, that's more advanced. They want they want the hi-hat all out. They want the witchcom all out. So you track, for guys who don't understand stems, you track the whole beat out, everything separate, and then you mix it all back together because you can't really signal out the hi-hat if your hi-hat is too damn high on your final mix. You know what I mean? You can't really if you lower that down too much, then you take out the other essence of the beats, man. So that's more advanced stuff out there. So that's how guys track out. I don't do that personally because again, that's not my level, but I do have different outs. So I have the outs going to the which com's going to track one on the mixer, the snares going to this and the sample. That way I can turn it up and down a little bit.
Yeah.
Or boost it up. But so that's the first I go, but it all comes out all as one. I don't personally break everything down. That's just not my I'm not on that level. And for what it does, it sounds good for what it goes out. So you don't have to do that, the stem thing. That's more professional level stuff, guys.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. That's pretty much what I do.
Right, you have to. Yeah,
but I only have. Luckily, the bright side, I only have to do that when I'm sending beats to my cousin that he's going to use, or any other artist that I'm working with, or if it's a situation where I'm collabing with another producer to make something, whether it be a remix or an original track, which got some on deck to come out this summer. There's a lot of that, man. A lot of bot comments, a lot of, hey, we want to get you promo, and it's going to be a bot factory in some random city, and you're going to get all these streams that are fake and nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, it's a racket.
Then, man, dudes be buying, because you know it's out there. Dudes be buying fucking
buying streams.
Buying, like,
you can tell when it's bought. Like, you can tell when it's bought.
The numbers don't add up, because they'll be like 500,000 listens, but they only got 300 fucking followers. So they don't realize, like, if you're gonna do that, you know, you got to do like both of them. And I had a guy, and I had a buddy of mine who was into like random shit, man, and he did shit like this. Like, he went on my page and he's like, hey man, check out your page. I'm like, what do you mean check out my page? This is my back before my shop. And he was like, this was when my shop first opened, something like that. He was like, check out your driver page. I'm like, all right, cool. I looked at it and it was like fucking 20,000 followers. I'm like, dude, he was like, hey man, thanks for the help. I'm like, what? So the dude on his sites, he would use that shit all the time to keep the likes up. You know, to keep them up, you got to pay. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, what the fuck what did you do, man? He was like, you know, I got this software. I didn't know this was even a thing. And he went on my thing, and you can give somebody likes and give somebody like follows and shit. So he went on there, he put my Pink Ranger Drift or something like that. He put it in there, and then like he gave me $20K, you know, I think it was like $20 or something like that. So my shit went up to $20K, and then like I'm like, what the fuck, man? And I was like, whatever, man. I was like, you know, I didn't pay for it. I didn't do it. You know what I mean? I kind of heard of it. And then like soon as I guess the shit wore off, it went right back down to fucking like 6,000. Like all those likes, because they were all bots. They were all bots and shit. So, and then also guys that are listening, man, this shit's real. If you do that shit in certain places or whatever, like they'll close your account. Yeah. So like, yeah, they don't fuck around with that no more, man. So you gotta be careful with that stuff. And now it's all over the place. Buy likes and buy this.
Buy streams, you're not buying reposts, playlists. This is
bots, man. These are all fake accounts, or they make it people accounts like it, and then a person realizes that I don't know who the fuck this is. And
I noticed that like lately, every now and then I run across. It's like, yo, I didn't follow this person. Why would I follow this person?
Or like, being unsubscribed. YouTube is big on that too. Like now it's money, man. So like my channel just got to a certain level, and then it just like it won't, because they want you to pay for ads, and I did pay for ads once to test it out. And magically, man, that video got like 4,000. My videos don't break 200 views, to be honest, because it's like a different buzz level. So like I paid for the ads to advertise my shop. I did get business out of it, so the ad was for a business ad, and I got like 4,000, 5,000 views in this video, like, which is not a lot, but considering I've been only getting like 200 views for the last couple of years, like YouTube is all in the game, and I'm pretty sure it's the same on the music platforms.
Yeah, it's the same on the music end. It's the same on Instagram, same on TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat. It's all the same now. Twitter. Like, there's a lot of that going on at this point where you gotta pay. You gotta play. That freeze.
Good. Yeah, I got you. Let me test this. All right, you're back.
All right, cool. Yeah, like there's a lot of that. It's everywhere, man. It's at this point where if you want to get, you gotta have some type of blessing organically for it to happen for you.
Yeah.
Or you're basically gonna have to pay the money, man. Like,
yeah, it's
gotta pay the
timing, man. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not sure you follow fighting too much, but like the whole Jake Paul joint and everything. And then I didn't know like Jake Paul. Like I found out about Jake Paul joint because I'm in a, I didn't know, I don't follow too much new artists to be honest. And I guess he's like I didn't know he was into the black culture. Let's just say that. And you know what I mean? So then he's doing the Triller joint and everything. Then you're pretty sure you've seen the thing and then everybody's going on. But if people don't know, I seen it for what it is, the boxing match with Mike Tyson and all that stuff. And then like they had they had all these guys mixed in, right? They don't understand Triller is like a hip hop based, like it's like hip hop. It's a hip hop based deal. So guys are like, man, why they got all these hip hop artists on this shit? It's supposed to be boxing. It's because the shit's hip hop. You know what I mean? It's a hip hop org that was started it was started by groups, and you can look up the Triller thing. I'm not really into it and everything, but yeah, Jake Paul. I didn't know Jake Paul was like somewhat of a rapper or into music and stuff like that. Yeah. You look as about as shocked as me. Yeah.
I thought he was just famous for knocking out Nate Robinson. Like,
no. If you look, check out. He look at his style and everything. Let's call it how you call it. He's a person, not impersonating, but his style is that of a urban guy, a black guy. So he's into the black culture. He's like a spokesman for the black people or whatever he says or whatever he said before. So yeah, that's how. So in a nutshell, a guy when I brought that long ass point to bring up. He's because he has his status on YouTube, is doing what he does and the stuff he does. A guy like that can walk into an exec office and make a track or make a album because he has other different kind of buzz. He knows when he makes that CD, it's already it's over 1 million sold instantly.
Yep.
Right.
Just because it don't people matter. Out of curiosity.
Yeah. Right. It doesn't even matter. All his millions of people that follow him are going to buy the album. So it's like almost now, man. It's like the talent shit and the organically being found stuff and like the stories where they found the dude in the dude was in his NPC in the back of a bar and A&R happened to be in there. Those shits are over now because now you know how it is. They actually like how many followers you got, how many downloads you're getting, how many streams. They want to know that shit. They don't care nothing about.
They ain't gonna talk to you.
Yeah.
And if you know too much about the business, they ain't gonna mess with you either.
Yeah. Yep. Because I'm here looking at the joint with who's the one guy, man, that fucking he got the Fetty Wap. So like he was going up and down. He was like one of the first to really utilize the omnipresence, because that's like back in the day there was no social media, so you had to know shit fly from here to France and fly from here to Egypt. So now with the social media you can go different places, don't put everything out, and then put everything out like you're going to Miami. You're in Miami tonight. You're in New Jersey tomorrow. You're in Cali. But actually, you did all that shit last week. But they don't know that. And they think it's like you're there now. So people don't, they think, so like he was the first person to use that omnipresence. He was all up and down the East Coast. And then like I looked at the story a little bit, and he was like SoundCloud stuff and getting people to do that and everything. And he's like, all right, well, you need this many likes, this many downloads, then we'll give you a contract and everything. So it's just crazy how that shit works now, man.
Yeah, it's all about the numbers, man. All the metrics. If you're not hitting the metrics, then don't nobody want to hear it.
Right. I mean, honestly, it's smart, because it's business. Back in the day when you would sign an artist, you'd be like, hey, man, we think this is what he's going to do. But now that they got social media, the social media tells you right away. You go on YouTube and you look at fucking a track and that shit got 2 million, 2.3 million views. Drake, let's just say he's a prime example. I don't follow him, but like I've been across some of his videos. His videos got 6 million, 7 million fucking views in like inside of 2 weeks.
Yep.
Some of his stuff, man. And I'm like, or you look at the older shit, 55,000, it's like 55 million, if that's even a number. Yeah, it is 55 million views. And it's like I got 200 views on my little shit that I put 2 weeks into this track and I got 200 listens. So that shit, man. How's that for you, man? Like, I'm like talking my head off right now. As far as like, putting a lot of time in and then like, yeah.
To putting a lot of time in, man, honestly, I look at it like this. It's a snowball effect.
Right.
The more snow you get going and the steeper the hill, eventually the bigger the snowball will be. So it's like it starts with, everybody's going to start out with like 1 or 2 streams, or barely getting 10 streams that you didn't put on there yourself. Like
right.
that, everybody got to start from there. If you automatically jump out there and you're already at the point where you're getting millions, your only way up is billions, and only a handful of people have made it to that number of streams. So essentially, you kind of lost the anything less than $1 million. Once you get to $1 million, anything less than $1 million is a flop. When you get to 100,000, anything less than 100,000 is a flop. 500,000, same thing. So I try not to even press myself on that. It's more so, does the song work? Did enough ears get on it? If not, how can we fix it?
Right.
And if I can't answer those questions, then I'm not ready to put the track out. Or I know if I can answer those questions, I know what direction I need to go next with it. Whenever I do revisit that genre.
Right.
So
you remember like one thing when you just saying that, one guy that just popped in my head, I don't know why, I mean, because he's a more notable guy, Skrillex. You know who Skrillex is?
Yeah.
People who out there know Skrillex, and you remember that, and you remember, and I don't know where he's at and how he's doing now, but you remember that it was like that. So you say he's still making stuff and everything.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I think he put a track out like last week.
But I mean, that's the thing. You know, I didn't know that. And the thing about it, you remember that summer where dubstep came out? Well, came out, but it was some movie used it, or somebody used it. Skrillex was like that guy. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure Skrillex, people hate when you bring it up. You know what I mean? He's the only notable dubstep guy I know personally, you know what I'm saying, that does it other than yourself that mess with it. And I want to say personally, but that I know that name popped in my head again when I mentioned J Dilla, all the different RZA, all the different producers that got me, into doing what I do. He was one of the notable. But you remember that one summer when it came to the forefront and everybody was like, every car was driving the street, dubstep. You got big black dudes with dubstep on, and then dubstep kind of it almost went right into trap. Like, as trap was around, but then
it went right into it.
Yeah, it is like somebody hit the fader and shit, and the dubstep went down and the trap came up, and it just seemed like it just kind of was hot for a couple of summers, and then like, where'd it go?
Well, so to be honest, Skrillex, he makes a lot of things. He's the godfather of dubstep, but he makes house music. He makes deep house stuff and techno and tech house. So he spreads himself out every now and then. But dubstep isn't dead.
Right.
It isn't what it used to be because the pool got oversaturated. You had too many sharks in a kiddie pool.
Way too many.
Then on top of that, every other, because I am a producer as well, when I get on social media and I get on Facebook, every other ad that I scroll up is, hey, don't you want to become a dubstep producer, dubstep producer school, and dubstep sound packs? I'm like, bruh, I don't like that. First of all, no disrespect to anybody who likes dubstep. I can only handle about 30 minutes of it. After that, I'm good. I don't make it on purpose so I don't have to play it. I will play like a couple of them because they do have enough trap elements for me to be like, all right, I can deal with playing this song. But that's about where it stops, because it just got way too saturated too fast, and then now you have a ridiculous amount of dubstep producers that are struggling to get work. A lot of them abandoned ship from music completely after going through what I've heard a lot of them go through during that time period, because I've heard some horror stories. But at the end of the day, it's like, all right, you can adapt or die in this game. And if you're gonna ride the train of being a one-trick pony and only rolling with one genre, it better be one that's not going nowhere, like house, hard style, deep house, techno, something. It can't be. But dubstep was just too new before it became too big to fail. It became the Titanic of its generation.
Like quickly, it just like kind of the 100% all you just said, man. It just kind of it went it didn't have a gradual build up. It just like went. It kind of like it just went like nothing, then bent straight up, and then everybody in their defense, man, it was like kind of the marketing thing, and it's like almost everything new. Like a lot of people don't realize. I didn't honestly realize because it's just like I was so focused on what I did, I just kind of tuned everything else out. Then also my business and cars and everything, I was doing that. I didn't realize the people would think trap came out, was something that had came out in the last 2 years. When you go back, like it was already
2012.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I didn't fucking know that shit. Yeah, I didn't know that shit was around that long. And just like, it was just like a transition. Then like certain dudes like the Migos really started popping. Because if you look back at it, I didn't like, for example, like it's weird. And this sounds like, this is going to be on music channel. People are like, what? I didn't know Nicki Minaj was like around for so long. That's just an example. To me, Nicki Minaj didn't exist to me until like 2007, maybe like 2018. To me is when I was like, who was this little Kim chick? You know what I mean? Wannabe chick or whatever. And so, I mean, but they were making tracks long before that.
Right,
that's why she's like, I'm like,
yeah, she had thumpers when I went back to A&T in 2010. She had thumpers from then to now. Right. It was just one of them things. She took over.
It's just one of those with the music stuff, man. It's like you kind of get set in your what you do and what you listen to, and that's how I was. And I had to kind of block out different things. You know what I'm saying? I had to block out different things as far as like this and that and different things, man. So it's kind of crazy, man. I noticed. Damn, I was like, man, I got to look at my alarm, man. I fucking lost so much time, man. We definitely like it's too deep, man. We definitely gonna do this again, man. Like real soon. For sure. And everything, because I got deliveries coming up in a few seconds. I don't want to leave you again and everything, man. So my bad for the things, and like I said, the music thing goes like way too deep, too deep to actually get like everything in one set. So it definitely won't be another year before we get up together and everything.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely not. We gotta do one again soon.
Yeah, I mean like real soon, man. Because I'm gonna block out a day where nothing's on a schedule, and we'll get it done, man. Because I don't want it's so much to talk about and everything.
I got a new video coming out soon too, and hopefully that will line up perfectly when the next time we do this, so you can see you can talk about it. I'll shoot you the track a little early, of course, right, a little excuse it. Yeah. But
send me the track for your with the joint with your cousin and everything. So I want
to for sure.
And do all that stuff, man. But again, man, for the small time we talk, again, I wanted to, because I was like, man, if I don't talk today, I won't be able to talk to him again like next week sometime, and life is happening and everything. So we'll definitely get up again and everything, and we'll talk more on it. But again, we'll definitely have a time slot blocked out and everything. And what we'll do for the next time, man, is probably like bring some of the tracks on, man, and play them live, and it's like talk about what you were thinking about with that stuff, and do that. My stuff, I'm not gonna do that for mine because it's not about me when I got the guests on and everything. So. And everything, man. But again, man, thanks for your time. My bad for the truncated timeline, because I think last time we did about 2 hours or something like that.
Yeah, close to it. So, close to it.
Yeah. I see the dudes piling up outside, man. So again, it's gonna be my guy Flash Horton sign off from NC. I'm in Masao, Japan. This is gonna be this is the first one loaded up on a music channel. For all my, I'm not gonna go back to the old ones, but all the ones from this point forward, I loaded up onto the music channel, and so it'll be on my podcast run, Pinku Style TV. But if all the music related ones, I'll put all the music related ones onto this channel, which is going to be just Pinku Style Music, and I revamped that as well. So I got like 50 subscribers on there. So again, be sure to subscribe, like, and share, and be sure to check out my guy here on SoundCloud. Everything will be down in the description, so you just click on it, check out his music, so you can see he makes good shit, and we ain't just talking shit. So just keep it like that, man. All right, man. So thanks again for your time, man. It's gonna be down from South Japan. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
All right. Always a pleasure.
Hey, the OG 3 Stack said the South had something to say. He might have been talking about them back then, but he talking about niggas like me today. Bitch, say my skin look good, I tell her I been exfoliating. Drinking hella water, my daughter been hella motivation. In the gym conditioning, strengthening, cause I know they waiting. New ink on my body, a walking wall is an inspiration. Renovations, your body a temple and don't you forget it. Mind your fucking business, I'm marking my note with hieroglyphics. What you want me to say, they think they read me anyway. Leading by example lately, they ain't leaving shit to say. Everybody got an opinion on who be winning and who pretending and who really spending and who be spending. You can't crack the code without no order in your operations. Please excuse my dear and Sally, fuck 'em, it's algebraic. Jacking flows like they stole the Alamo. All these motherfuckers sound the same, I guess that's how it go. Popularity contest, who took the talent show? Counter though, I'm kinda dope, I'm bound to count all kinda dope. Fuck up my account, then hold my accountant accountable. Annual report say I've been spending on all kind of bull. Brother just got a trucking business, hope he get stuck with it just like the calculator, bro. Numbers running, can't dismiss it.